These are 5 pitchers you need to be avoiding for 2026 fantasy baseball. My first guy is going to be Blake Snell of the Los Angeles Dodgers. The reason why I'm choosing Blake Snell is purely because we have not seen a fully healthy season in Blake Snell for 3 years. And even before that, we did not see a fully healthy season of Blake Snell for 4 more years before that. So if we're really counting it to be exact, we've seen 2 minus the COVID year. So 2 years out of 7 years, he's been fully healthy for a full season. And someone right now who's going to be a late 6th, kind of early 7th round draft pick, I'm not investing someone who's going to only play me a quarter of the year. No matter how good he's going to be, I don't care if he's going to be the best pitcher during that quarter of the year for me. I'm not wasting my draft on that.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to really like bet on a guy when he just is not playing, because it's like, what's the point of having him on your team if he's just taking up a spot?
For sure.
Yeah, especially when you're going in those mid rounds.
Yeah, and he's on the Dodgers. You guys have so many starters to where it's like, if he just starts feeling something, they're like, all right, dude, just relax. Like, all we need you for is the playoffs anyways, so don't worry about it. Like, just take time off, do whatever you need. The funny thing is, too, though, his only 2 full years of his career, he was Cy Young winner, so
that's fair.
That should tell you, obviously it's upside, but that upside, it just has not happened enough for me to even consider taking a risk on him. Probably a better 100%. Best ball play just in case he does stay healthy, but in terms of fantasy baseball, I'm not going to take a pick on him.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when you're invested into a league, especially like one of the ESPN leagues that we're in, it's tough to put him in there and just like have him, as opposed to like a best ball where you're like, I can take a shot on this guy that could have a Cy Young potential-esque season.
So Josh, the big game is finally here, and anyone watching, if you want to get in on the action, you already know that we are using Underdog. It's super simple. You just pick higher or lower on 2 or more stats like touchdowns, receptions, and more, and you can win up to 5,000x your entry. And it's not just football. Underdog has a ton of sports. You name it, Underdog has it. For the big game, Underdog's hooking it up with a big reveal. Just choose your player and see if you get a gimme pick. I've already locked in our picks for the game. You can see them on the screen now. Underdog's available in most states, including Texas, California, and Florida. New customers get $75 in bonus entries when they play, just $5 to get started. Just use code 9PENNANCE when you sign up and it will load instantly. Underdog, make picks, win money with code 9PENNANCE.
And so I'm kind of going to lead into that as well, because this guy, Eury Perez, has a lot of potential, super high upside, but boy, is it tough to watch him sometimes, because he either cannot like get out of an inning, or he just gives up like a long ball, especially watching him against the Nationals a couple times. I think the Nationals just killed him. And it's just somebody, whenever you start a pitcher, you want to be able to trust him against like a decent team and just like know that he's going to get the ball on the ground, or he's just going to be able to get out of an inning. I mean, his whip was 1.05, which is obviously really good, but his ERA was inflated. I mean, 4.25. His defense kind of sucks, very middle of the road. And I think when you put him in contention with the other guys that are going around that like 100 like pick in the ADP, it's like you can pick up like a guy like Brandon Woodruff, Pablo Lopez, or even, I mean, I think who else was going around there? I think it was I'm drawing a blank, but you can pick up a lot of guys that you can count on more for that time. And so I just think taking a shot at Eury Perez, and I think even his ECR versus ADP was like +9. So I think a lot of analysts are like even giving him that like 90-ish ADP, which I don't know. I have no room to trust him for that. So I think there's a lot more guys that you can really get after and just find that reliability for sure.
For sure. And Eury Perez is really fun to watch. Obviously a cool story, being still only, almost, he'll be 23 at the start of the season. Still 22 at the start of the season.
That's insane.
But there's a good video by Willie Tix on YouTube, if you guys do know that account, where he makes baseball statistic videos. And Eury Perez was statistically one of the luckiest pitchers in the MLB last year in terms of hard hit rate, balls that should be home runs and balls that should be base hits. He was just getting extremely lucky on them. And after he made that video, which was like a 75% of the way through, he ended up just doing absolutely terrible. I had him in fantasy baseball was getting me, negative points and just tons of runs and hits given up. And he was on the lucky side last year. I still think, down the road, he will be a Cy Young candidate for sure. But just right now, I'm not taking a risk on him.
100%, especially when like a lot of these younger guys, they need some time to really like stabilize. And so I think skipping out on him this year is not going to hurt your fantasy team at all. And just wait for him. I mean, next year, if he does turn out to be awesome this year, you'll still have him next year and you'll be fine.
For sure. Definitely dynasty leagues. He's like the guy you want. Behind Skeens probably, but yeah. I'll take over to my next pitcher, who was a fantasy darling by everybody 2 years ago and last year, and that is Cole Ragans of the Kansas City Royals. Absolutely, Cole Ragans absolutely has the stuff to be a Cy Young winner. He was hurt last year, and he kind of was dealing with that through the end of the year. And there's part of me that's worried about that. He hasn't really, fully done it for us besides 1 year of his career. And when he was that, he was a Cy Young 4. He was 5.4. He was averaging right around 10 strikeouts per 9 innings, which is really good. And Cole Ragans has that potential. Coming off the injury and sitting where he's at right now, like late 4th, early 5th round, I'm not a fan of that. There's a lot of great hitters in that area. Who I would take over that. And if you're willing to wait around, I'm honestly fine with the pitchers right behind him. George Kirby, I'd take over him. Dylan Cease, I'd take over him. So I would suggest going away from Cole Ragans. He's got a lot of injury history, not proven fully besides as being a starting pitcher. He's only has 1 full season. So for those reasons, I would avoid him.
100%. Yeah. And Cole Ragans, like you said, he really has the stuff to be elite. All these guys that we are naming do have the stuff to be elite. It's just the timing of it. For this year, I want to be able to go into this draft knowing that I can rely on this guy to not get me negative points. And that's the thing that we're worried about the most. And this guy, I mean, the guy that I'm going into next had probably one of the biggest fall-offs as a pitcher. Like, his stuff just does not look the same. Spencer Strider is having a tough comeback. Like, it really does suck because he was one of the more like electric pitchers, and now just seeing his fastball kind of drop and just seeing the way he plays just is not the same. Like, it looks like he's kind of a shell of himself. He really lost a lot of confidence, I think. And it sucks because I think the Braves really need that. They need their guy to step up and play well, and I just don't think he's gonna. I think he has a lot of pressure on himself, and it's one of those things that it's just a mental thing. And I just don't think that Spencer Strider, where you're drafting him at, same in that like 100 ADP spot, you can just get way better players. Luis Castillo had a decent season. He had a really good season. So did Robbie Ray. There's just a lot of guys that I trust more than these two pitchers, and it's tough to put them in that spot where, you can either take like a really good bat in like the 5th, 6th round, or you look at any of the other pitchers. It's hard to put these two in that same category with everybody else that's in that same area.
For sure. And Strider, 3-4 years ago was a really good pitcher. He came back, his fastball, his average fastball miles per hour was down. So he's throwing the ball harder. He's throwing the ball softer, walking more guys, not finding the zone as much. He is purely just kind of like you said, maybe it's a confidence thing. Maybe he's not trusting his elbow fully. Maybe he's not fully healthy yet, but his whip is significantly up from his prime years. He was right around that 1 mark, just south of it on his rookie year. And then in 2024 and 2025, he's averaging just right, probably a 1.45 whip. So that's not good. He's getting way too many batters on the way too many hitters on the bases, and that's obviously not going to lead to success. So I think Strider has, like we said, the potential. We know what he can do. He's just not healthy, and I'm worried about it. And all the guys in that area are just better. Luis Castillo, Robbie Ray, like you said, they're just so much safer plays that you know what you're going to get out of them. Where Strider, he might not even be playing for you half the year, and he might, when he was, is struggling. So I would definitely move off elsewhere. And this next guy for me is really, really interesting of where he is ranked. So Klye Bradish of the Baltimore Orioles. is super interesting to me in terms of pre-rankings. At the moment, he is currently ranked right around that 83 spot. So that's what, late 7th, early 8th, kind of around there.
Yeah.
And these pitchers going around him, Spencer Schwallenbach, Jesus Luzardo, Framber Valdez, Nick Pivetta, I'm taking all of those guys in a heartbeat over Klye Bradish. Was
100%.
he healthy last year? He was not. Klye Bradish does have the stuff to be really good. We've seen it before, but that was 3 years ago when he was fourth in Cy Young. Like, that was super long ago. Since then, he's not healthy. He's not thrown enough for me to even consider taking him. And I'm getting these starters like Luzardo. I'm getting Framber Valdez still to see where he's going to go. Pivetta on a better year. I'm not taking this risk in Bradish, and I'm completely in a heartbeat moving off purely just because everyone around him is a lot better.
Yeah, I do think it's insane that they haven't ranked that high.
Yeah,
because I mean, you look at the guys behind him. Even in that position, you do not need to take a picture, and you can see the guys that are going around that ADP, and it's like, I am not taking him over Ben Rice, George Springer, any of those batters. And of the pitchers that are there, it's like Framber is way better than him. I mean, Nick Pivetta, if he has a healthy year, he's way better than him. I don't understand that at all.
For sure. And what I'm worried about, like, especially of people who are either newer to fantasy baseball or just fantasy sports in general, right? Like, let's say he stays around this range towards draft season, and you're drafting and Klye Bradish is at top of the board, and you're like, oh, he's ranked this high, he's got to be good, right? Like, sure, he may be good, but don't, like, let him sit up there for 3, 4, 5 rounds, and if he's there in the 12th round, maybe I'll consider taking him at that point. We haven't seen it in 3 years. He can't stay healthy. Baltimore is not the best offensive team in terms of last year. Hopefully this year they will be better. Definitely, if you don't get a pitcher in this range, look for a batter. Don't settle for Klye Bradish.
100%. Yeah. I think all these guys that we've kind of named are guys that definitely obviously have the potential to do good, and we might be eating our words about all 5 of these guys later down the road.
Yeah.
But in terms of just reliability and what I want to be thinking in terms of like a sure pick when I go into drafts, I just want to avoid all these guys for the main reasons of they either can't stay healthy, they are a shell of what they used to be, like they just don't have the same stuff, or I think there's just guys that are better than them.
Yeah, and purely, and putting your own opinions on the internet can definitely bite you in the ass. Come the end of the season, but I'm going to stand on my word. I believe all these guys will not be good, and you should not waste 100%. Your draft picks on them. Look elsewhere, and I promise you your fantasy team will do a lot better. 94% of you guys are not subscribed. Fantasy draft season is coming up. You better be subscribed so you get all the best information on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching. We will catch you guys in the next one.